So now let's talk about logging and alerting options that are available in the Zone Director system. There are a couple different things that you can see here that are available. You can do local event logging, where you're actually tracking event information, status information on the Zone Director itself. Now keep in mind, this is flash memory based, so all of these messages are going to be stored on the flash on the Zone Director itself. And that does imply a little bit of a limitation because the size of the flash memory is such that you can only have about maybe 3,000 entries in the log before it's going to start overwriting itself. So in the case of a very busy network, or if you want to go back and look at information that's a little bit further in the past, maybe a week ago, in that case, then you're going to want to look at the remote server option as well. Now with a remote syslog server, what you can do is take all that information from the Zone Director and then send it to the server itself, where it'll spool it onto the hard drive in a log file there. That lets you go back later and refer to the information. You can filter on it. It gives you a lot more options as far as what to do with that information that you may not need at the time it's being generated. I strongly recommend that you have a remote syslog server in any production network with the Zone Director. Now, another option that you have here is the Radius server. If you're doing any kind of Radius authentication, you can also set up Radius accounting. Radius accounting will then let you capture information about what's going on during a Radius authentication process, which can be very helpful in those cases where you're doing this sort of thing. It's not putting that information in the syslog necessarily, but it is logging information, which is all to the good. And then the last thing you can do is, if you have an SNMP server, you can also set up SNMP traps to a server address as well. So if you have an SNMP system, then you can take advantage of that and send information into it for processing. And then finally, we also have email notification of alarms. So this is where an email would actually get sent out to a particular email address whenever a critical alarm or event has happened. For example, like a rogue AP being detected or an AP going down or something like that. If you don't have immediate access to the web UI and the Zone Director or the CLI, email notification is a really good way of getting that information in a more real-time manner.